What's going on, everyone? This is From Nothing to Something Else. You know who I am, but today I'm sitting here with Anthony Ellis.
Yes, sir.
Husband, father, real estate agent, coach, mentor,
music artist, clothing designer, just entrepreneur, man. I'm part Jamaican.
Part Jamaican as well. They just throw it all out there. Man, thanks for pulling up and joining me here at my office. But I'm either way just happy to get you on the show because, as I tell people, you never know who's watching you. But there's always someone paying attention to the moves that you make. And honestly, man, we go back like a Cadillac on 4 flats the way to the kickback days, man. Long time ago when we were just starving, hungry, trying to just make a name for ourselves. And you have, man. We have grown, and so I'm gonna start talking for people who don't know you. Tell them about you. Like you said, Jamaican, but wait, man, who is you?
Part Jamaican a little bit. But yeah, my name is Anthony Ellis, aka Doja. Really don't go by that alias, you know, I'm trying to be professional. But yeah, man, I'm from the Bay Area, Oakland, California. You know, if we want to go into exactly where at, what neighborhood, Funktown, USA. But yeah, man, I do it all, man. I'm just trying to make a way for me and my family. Trying to get my brand out there, trying to get my name out there, man. Yeah.
Okay, let's start with Funktown, man. Cause I'm from LA and I grew up here in Chico. But Oakland, especially now, ain't getting a good name. But tell us about what Funktown was like. You growing up, your family life. Mom, dad, and what was your family aspect like? Brothers, sisters. What was that like?
Yep, definitely from poverty, man. Didn't really have much. Grew up with my mom and my sister. Daddy was in and out the picture, in and out of jail. So really didn't have that father figure. But yeah, man, grew up with my mom. Funktown, we bounced around a couple of different locations in Funktown.
And school, obviously you coach and that's basketball, you played basketball. What was that? Did you play in high school? Did you graduate high school? Did you go to college? Tell me about a little bit of that.
Yep, so didn't play college basketball, but I went to Oakland High School for 4 years, Oakland High School, right off of MacArthur Boulevard as well. I didn't graduate from Oakland High School. I went to Dewey Academy, which is like a continuation school where I spent my last couple of months there and got my diploma from there. So even though I'm a Wildcat at heart for 4 years, I got my diploma from Dewey High School.
And that's important. And did you have any college? Did you go to college or anything after that?
I did go to college. That's how I ended up in Chico.
There it is. That's how you got out here. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I wanted to get away from everything that was out there and just kind of start over. So I ended up going to Butte College, and then I ended up transferring to Chico State. I'm shy a couple credits from getting my BA, but I did read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That kind of changed my whole, mentality on just, not having to get a degree to be a business owner.
Amen. And that's, like I said, leads us to where we is today and why we're sitting here today. And that's why I wanted to get that little light background for me because, a lot of black people, a lot of black men, we all kind of share the similar story. I don't know, my dad, all that stuff, trying to just make it, figuring it out along the way, and then figuring out, what, our skills can actually pave the way for a better life. And so I met you when we were doing music. I had a radio station that played hip hop music at the time, and I was just trying to get the artists out there. I feel like, as they say, many hands made light work, and as an artist myself, I knew that there was a bunch of artists out there that was talented, but they just wasn't getting the airtime. And so I was like, I got this opportunity to be at KZFR and launch a show for local artists. And you were one of the main artists that I played. And there was always something special about you, but also just a business-like mentality. Like you weren't like some other artists, which is why I kind of cut the show, because not a lot of people were serious about their own craft. You were, you came in there, you had all your business together, your music together, your shows together, and you always came out as professional in my eye. That's why I always, paid attention to you, and it hasn't stopped. So let's talk about that young Doja at the time and the music and And are you still doing that? And are you still active in music?
I would say minimum. Music is my passion. That's my way, how I vent. That's how I get everything out. Like I always tell people, Pro Tools is kind of my best friend.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to vent to Pro Tools and, you know, and just get everything out, you know, how I feel. It's kind of harder to vent that to an actual person. So Pro Tools has always been that for me. But yeah, I'm definitely still involved in music. I actually just dropped a music video. It was called The Gap in the Game, which is a great book as well by Dan Sullivan. I recommend you pick that up. But yeah, man, music is always gonna be there for me. Always. That's just my way of venting, and that's how I find my way to reach the people as well.
And like I said, man, that professionalism has translated and carried on to so many other different careers. We named off like 16 of them before we started the show. So let's jump back. As you said, no father figure, but you are a father.
Yes, sir.
And you've been with your wife for a minute. How long you been married?
So we've been together for about, don't shoot the messenger. About 13 years, I think it is. So rough estimate, about 13 years. My daughter is 12 years old, so we definitely know that it's 12 years for sure.
Y'all had that young love, that new love, you know, back in the day.
We met at Chico State. So.
And how is that, man? Because, marriage is a tough one. I've been married before. I've been divorced. But, it's tough. Being a man of color, growing up in a, as we say, a broken home, not having an example of what a marriage and a real strong, beautiful relationship looks like. How is that working for you, and how have you maintained it? Because there's a lot of people who are in relationships who are, getting married and this stuff, who want to know how we get that longevity, especially starting off young.
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's it's always gonna be hard. Every relationship has its ups and downs. But then that's how you grow. You definitely want to grow with your partner and your spouse. But just being a father, man, that's a big thing to me, because I didn't have that father figure in my life. And I've always told myself, if I was to have a child, that I was gonna always be there no matter what. That is something that is dear to my heart. Just not having that love and affection growing up, it's hard for me as a father, because it's hard for me to show that to my daughter. Sometimes when my daughter tells me she loves me, it's a little bit weird. I get weird at times.
That's what's up.
So it always, I get emotional. I'm feeling emotional right now just talking about it. But it is a hard thing, and day in, day out, man, I try to show that affection that I didn't have growing up. And it's just, it's a touchy situation,
It's beautiful, man.
It is, though. But I love being a father. I love being able to go to her games. I love being able to just be there for her and give her that advice, and just everything that I didn't have growing up as a kid, So.
Nah, like I said, it's important to highlight that, because it is a beautiful thing, and it's touching, man, to see just I know a lot of great Black fathers, man. People like, oh man, you never left. We here, we out here.
We out here.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And let's jump back to your wife, because I remember her, and this leads to, your training and all that stuff, because she was a personal trainer, Body by Lupita. You guys got a gym now, Ohana Training Center.
Ohana Hands-On Training.
Hands-on training.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that, because not only 13 years of marriage, y'all both have been doing your own thing, getting stride with each other, but now y'all locked in with the Hands-On Training Center. Talk about how you guys got to that point and what that's all about.
Well, my wife, she's always been into fitness. I'm athletic, but that's really, a big thing for her. She's just, since she's been in Chico, that's the way she found her way to cope with things, and that's just her therapy. So, with her being into the fitness world and me going to school for business, it's a no-brainer, Business, fitness, put us together. There we is. We have a business. So yeah, we love helping people. Everything that we do in life is just giving back. She's not only a fitness trainer, but she is a social worker as well. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a mentor. I coach basketball. So everything that we do is just giving back to people. We're passionate about helping others.
Okay. So for those people who are interested in maybe getting some training, working out, what's up with the Ohana Hands-On Training Center? Where can people, tell us your business model and what can you expect out of that?
Yeah, so we're a personal fitness training facility. It's hands-on. That's where we got the name from, hands-on. And then the Ohana just comes from family. You know, in the Polynesian culture, they're big on the family model. So that's where we got that from. And yeah, man, we personal training. If you're looking for one-on-one, if you're looking for group training, my wife's a badass trainer. And yeah, we love. It's more than just fitness. It's the mentality as well, you know, and that's what we kind of target as well, is helping people, you know, get through different day-to-day, and just, you know, it's a way to vent and you know, just, you know, your mental health. You know, which everybody needs. It's very important.
And how long you guys have that center for that place?
So we opened in about 2020, right when COVID hit.
That's right.
So yeah, it is crazy because we was able to sustain ourselves and get through all of that COVID era. And yeah, man, we was able to stay strong, man.
And so I asked that because, and it kind of we're blending into your real estate, but I know a lot of people who want to be business owners and strive to do that. But a lot of people don't make it or exceed, or they just get scared of trying to get that location. They get scared of having that location, the bills, the extra overhead, and then be able to maintain that consistently. I've seen a lot of people, get a spot, then they lose it, and then they just working out of home. Like, how have you guys been able to maintain that? What tools do you guys use? Did you guys talk to someone and link up? How are you guys running this business? Is it all you and your knowledge?
Yeah,
give people some insight on that.
It's pretty much just our knowledge, and I would say, you know, always, you know, the grace of God.
Amen.
And just, you know, pushing through and just knowing what we want in life. I think that's very important. Is you have to know what you want in life. You have to know where you're going in life. If you don't, then you don't have a roadmap to, you know, where you're trying to get to in life. And yeah, it's just, you know, I to be honest, I don't even know how we do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Y'all at the table at night crunching the numbers.
Yeah.
Y'all what was it, QuickBooks?
Yeah, we use that.
QuickBooks just personal?
Yeah.
Just you guys handle all the
It's just us. Everything is us, man. Every piece of equipment that we have in there is money that's out of our own pocket. We never got a loan for any of those pieces of equipment that's in there. And it's just, you know, day to day, we see some online, you know, for a good, reasonable price, and we just reach out, and that's how we obtain most of our equipment. But everything is just through us, man. We don't really have nobody that's guiding us. We don't have no business mentor or anything like that. It's just, like I said, through the grace of God.
No, that's awesome. And so, as you said, now you've been coaching for a minute too. How long have you been coaching, and why have you been coaching? Because I just coached my son's third grade flag football team, and I was like, I ain't never gonna coach again. Before that, because previously I coached my son's 8th grade basketball team, and I'm like, yo, these kids is different. They ain't like us, and I can't coach the way I want to coach. It's the old school, you know. I was trying to punish these kids and make them do liners, but then they weren't sprinting, so I had to go out there, show them how to really sprint, pull the hamstring, and I was like, you know what, I'm just, you know, I tried everything, take them to games, do all that stuff, but these kids didn't even play sports. Now, let alone basketball, it was just out there to have a good time. How have you maintained, and why are you still maintaining and doing it?
Well, yeah, first off, I've been into coaching. Well, I coached, you know, when I was in junior college back in the Bay Area. I went to Contra Costa College. So I started at an after-school program that I worked at, and I coached soccer, which I didn't have no skills in soccer. But I was out there, you know, just kick the ball right there into that big net right there, you know, good to go. But I started out there at the after-school program, and I coached basketball, which I was an assistant to, and then just recently, really up in 2021 was my first time coaching high school sports. And mind you, you know, I really didn't have no high school experience like that as far as coaching, but here I am coaching varsity basketball at the highest level there is in high school.
That's dope.
And you know, we didn't get a lot of wins. I was coaching for Gridley High School at the time. I heard that the coach was stepping down, so I stepped in. It was a kid that I was training at my gym at the time who played for Greeley High School. He was like, yeah, my coach is stepping down. You should, step in there and, and coach us. I was like, all right, bet, So I ended up signing up, went through all the hoops and kind of wiggled my way in there. And there was, I was a high school varsity basketball coach. And it was tough. It was tough, man. Those kids ate me alive. I can't even lie. But I was able to get through it. I ended up getting let go that next year. Reasons, we're not gonna speak on. We're not gonna go there.
Navigated.
But I was ended up let go there. Ended up after I left there, I started an AAU basketball team called the NorCal Blue Tigers, which is still going on today. Actually, we got a game today here in Chico. In about a couple hours. The NorCal Blue Tigers, and I ended up meeting this lady. So the lady signed her kid up. Her husband was the football coach at the time, he still is. And she signed up her kid, and we was at the Orville YMCA. We was trying to find a place to practice at, so we ended up going there. She brought him there, and she was like, why you guys not, practicing at the high school, at Live Oak High School? I'm like, Live Oak High School? She was like, well, I work for the administration and, we can get you into the door. And she ended up making it happen. So I ended up meeting her husband and he asked me if I wanted to coach football. Ended up coaching football. Really not a football player like that, but coaching is coaching. Coach football and, the basketball coach, the varsity basketball coach, I heard he really didn't have an assistant. So I ended up stepping in, giving back my time. I didn't get paid and helped him. I think he liked what he's seeing from my coaching aspect. And, he stepped down that next year and he was like, man, I think you should apply and, apply for the varsity spot. So I applied for the varsity spot, didn't get the varsity spot, but the JV spot was open. And the same lady who, got us into Live Oak, she was like, she called me or she texted me and was like, did you apply for the JV spot? I was like, no, I didn't know it was open. She was like, well, apply. So I ended up applying. I ended up getting JV spot. And then I coached that year. And then the year after that, they let go the varsity coach. So I ended up applying and ended up getting that. And here we is now.
God's just working.
Yeah, God works in mysterious ways.
Not always what you know is who you know, and just like I said, taking that time to mentor that young man and then look at the doors opening up. And you've been doing training and stuff outside of that. I've been seeing, you take some kids out the park. A lot of time with these youth. Man, and that's a real big respect for that. But let's jump into your real estate now. That's what the grind is. Coach Ellis Real Estate. Talk about why, how, and what's it feel like to be in this process, in this situation?
So, real estate has always been a part of my life just because I've always been infatuated with nice homes. I come from poverty. I come from living in apartments. So every time I seen a nice house, I just fell in love with seeing nice homes.
Do you watch HGTV?
Yeah.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
That's my channel.
So that too. That's the reason why I got into real estate, man. I used to watch these real estate shows and seeing how they was making it look so easy. And I was like, hey, they making bread like that? Let me go on and
sell that.
Exactly. Okay. So, but yeah, just being infatuated with nice homes, just, with nice decor and stuff like that. I've always been infatuated with it. So I was like, hey, woke up and was like, man, I think I can be a real estate agent. Mind you, I am an introvert. You might not think that because you see me on stage or you see me making videos and you see me doing all of this, but at heart, I'm an introvert. It's just hard for me to be around people. I'm the quiet guy. I'm the one that's in the corner. I only speak when spoken to. That's
right. I'm the same way. People like, stop. You so out there. And then as soon as I do an event, as soon as I time off the stage, if I could just leave, sprint out that day, right off stage, that'll be me. I'll be like, you guys stick around and talk. Wow. Please don't make me do it. So I get it.
But an introvert at heart, man, and being in this business, you cannot be what they call it, a secret agent. That's what my mentor always tell me. And you got to put yourself out there. So I'm still an introvert at heart. I really don't like being in large groups like that. But in this business, you have to put yourself out there to be able to generate leads.
Exactly.
But that's where I started at. And I originally started, so when I'm about probably like a year and a half in, almost 2 years now. It's a tough market. It's a tough market right now, and it's kind of the worst time to jump in to get your real estate license. But for me, it's the best time because if I'm able to get through this tough market right here, once it gets a little bit easier and interest rates drop and all of that good stuff happens, then this is gonna be, my feet kicked up and just making deals from the phone on vacation,
Man, for real.
So, that's what it is. I started off at EXP Realty, that's the first brokerage, and then transferred over at the beginning of this year, 2025, over to LPT Realty, where it was just a no-brainer, just way more money that you get to save in your pocket. But I got into it because, like I said, I'm passionate about helping others. I'm passionate about helping others, so that's the reason why I got into real estate.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, I tried to do real estate, but man, that didn't last long, and I know a few other people that tried it and it didn't work out, so being able to just make it through that, it's really, really just tremendous, and then, like I said, maintain it, because I have seen a lot of people become real estate agents. I'm not sure if they're still doing it or not, but that's the thing, I'm not sure if they're doing it or not, because they're not out here on display, which you really have to do. You have to be seen. And so what is that process for those who are trying to make it, or just trying to make it, into a home and things like that? You said it's a tough market. What are those steps? Because I started going through the process and we had this conversation. I was like, oh man, that's not that. But it wasn't as bad as I thought to get it started. So what is that beginning process for people? So you're talking about just buying a home, just getting into the market for looking at. I mean, obviously you said it's a tough market. Yeah, it's really not a hard process as people think. Just make sure your credit score is decent. I would say, it might let you slide with a 580, 620, but definitely want to be in the 700s to be able to get, lock in a nice interest rate. But it's just definitely having a down payment or just having some money saved up. No big purchases right around the time you're trying to, qualify for a home or pre-qualify for a home. And credit score, man. And you go sit down with a loan officer. They will tell you what you pre-approved for. And at that point, you just go house shopping. So you want to make sure you get pre-approved before you go house shopping. Because that's like going into the grocery store without a list, You definitely want to know the amount that you pre-qualify for, because you don't want to go, you say you're pre-qualified for. Man, I was saving all types of homes on Zillow I couldn't afford. You pre-qualified for 300, you over here looking for $500,000 homes. And all these saying that to go and unart the stuff. You got to definitely shop within your budget. So definitely being pre-qualified, and then reach out to an agent, someone like myself, and and just hit the market, man, and get out there and negotiate, and I think that what you just said, reach out to someone like yourself. That's why I love seeing all my people, all my friends doing big things, but also get into that real estate, because I didn't make it, but I got questions, and I need a friendly face, a familiar face, someone that looked like me to break this thing down for me. So I'm not, as people think the banks, man, they playing us, These people, they ain't working with us, because they working against us. They don't want us to have what they got. And so I'm like, Coach Ellis, holler at them, because these are the people, this is what we need, So I want to get you on here and talk about all the great things you're doing and really highlight, man, we can all go from nothing to something else. So, man, I really appreciate you sitting down. If there's something else you want to break down to people, let them know. But definitely let them know how they can get in contact with you and where to find your stuff. Well, you can find me on social media, man. I'm all over the social media. You probably see me, my favorite tagline, what up, what up, what up, what up? Coach Ellis Real Estate is my game. You probably heard that before. You probably heard your kids running around the house saying that tagline. And it's just always been catchy. But you can find me on any social media platform there is. So you can find me on Instagram at Coach Ellis Realty. That's the handle. And then pretty much on Facebook as well at Anthony Ellis. You should be able to see me pop up once you search Anthony Ellis.
And just Google, man. Just Google.
Google that boy. I'm gonna put
just
all
Google,
the things on the clip and on the video so y'all can know where it's at. But again, man, I really just your growth, your maturation. I mean, your family life, man. I really just appreciate you, man. Really look up to you. I really respect everything you're doing.
Likewise,
really,
man.
thank you for sitting down with me and just giving me your time, man.
Yes, sir, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man. Likewise, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. And until next time, y'all stay tuned in for nothing and something else. All right.
Signing out.